Hello YouTube, Reddit Digs back here again with another long form video, this time on week 8 NFL picks. Last week I believe I did 9 and 5, so better than the week before, but still can be better. The NFL is very unpredictable, as everybody has found out, and I don't expect that to change this week. Only 2 buys this week with Kansas City and LA Chargers, but let's get into the other picks. As always, you know where to find me. Locals, Twitch, here of course, and Rumble. Let's get into the video. The first game we have the Ravens versus the Buccaneers. A toss-up game, I think. The Buccaneers have not been great lately. Their defense hasn't been able to stop anybody. I mean, they couldn't even stop the terrible Carolina Panthers last week. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson hasn't been his best the past couple of weeks. He's still been able to run the ball effectively, but just not with the passing touchdowns. Ravens, I think, should win this game. It's a toss-up just because it will be in Tampa Bay, so I should go with the home team on a Thursday night, but when will I ever learn? I'll go with the Ravens. Gus Edwards looks pretty good, coming back in his first full game last week, and he looked great. Expect him to continue that, probably at least a little bit. Buccaneers defense might be able to stop him a little bit, but Tom Brady has just not been great for Tampa. His receivers hasn't been great either. But honestly, I think it really comes down to Tom Brady. He just looks old. He looks shot and exhausted. His playing days are soon to be over, I'm sure. I can't imagine Tampa Bay brings him back, even though it's Tom Brady. But Ravens in a close one, just because it's a Thursday night game. Next we have the Broncos versus the Jags. Another toss-up game. Both teams have not been great. Jaguars haven't won a game since week 2. Broncos, I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to play this week. Probably will go a long way to depending on if they win. Even though it hasn't been great. It's just, I don't know what's up with the Broncos. Jaguars, I give a little more excuse just because they're rebuilding, but man, they need to get better soon. They made a big trade with James Robinson to the Jets. I mean, might as well get something for him since they don't use him. And if Travis Etienne is anything like it was last week, it could be a real revelation for this team and go a long way to helping them maybe get a couple more wins. So though, do they really want more wins, or do they want a top draft pick again? We'll have to wait and see to find out, but I think I will take the Jags in this one. Next we have the Panthers versus the Falcons. Divisional game. Panthers surprising with the win last week, and the Falcons just got destroyed by the Bengals. I mean, it was 35-17 was the final score, but it was not close at all. I don't know why Marcus Mariota doesn't throw the ball more. I suppose it's because the wide receivers aren't catching very much. Trevor Algier looks great as a running back, stepping in for Cordell Patterson. I don't know when Patterson will be back, but it's been certainly giving them a little offense. Panthers, I think they just have a little bit more. PJ Walker, a legend from the USFL. But I think the Panthers will win this one. But man, it's going to be a toss-up, honestly. Next we have the Cowboys versus the Bears. Bears with the surprising win over the New England Patriots. I guess anybody could have seen that coming. I mean, they were the betting losers, but they came out and beat the Patriots pretty handily. Patriots have a quarterback controversy. I like Bailey Zappi a lot, but Mac Jones is back in the good graces just because Bailey Zappi played well at first, but wasn't able to really move the ball after that first touchdown drive. It's going to be a toss-up again. I still think what the Bears did last week was a fluke. Justin Fields, what his performance is more fluky than anything. But I think the Cowboys looking great. Dak had a slow start, but he should be back. Their defense is great. I think Cowboys win pretty big. Right here's probably not going to be that close. Next we have Dolphins versus the Lions. The Lions, again, disappointing last week. Coming out of the bye, expecting them to do a little better. Dolphins with Tua came back. He's looking better. Still always a concern for him to have another concussion. I think the Dolphins just have the more horses in this game. For the Lions, it's unclear if DeAndre Swift will play. That would probably help them a lot if he is able to play. He certainly missed him last week. It probably would have helped a lot. I think the Dolphins just have more because Waddle and Tua and Tyreek Hill. Mostert looked pretty good at running back last week. Probably continue to get more touches. And Dolphins defense is alright. Lions defense is not good. I don't think the Lions stand much of a chance, even though they're at home. I like the Dolphins to win again and get further above 500. Next we have the Cardinals versus the Vikings. Vikings coming off a bye, looking to continue doing what they have been all season. Cardinals with the big win over the Saints last week. It still hurts me that the Saints lost that game. If there's not the back-to-back pick sixes, Saints probably win that game. But DeAndre Hopkins is definitely going to help them. I still don't think the Cardinals are very good. They just played the Saints, who are just hurt so badly all over the place, especially on defense. They just keep taking hits. Cardinals, I don't know if James Conner is going to play, but Kyler Murray looks definitely better with DeAndre Hopkins. But I've said that all the time, that DeAndre Hopkins is the main reason why Kyler Murray has anything in this league. I think the Vikings are going to win this one. I don't know if it'll be too close, but Cardinals have been able to shut down their number one wide receiver, so maybe that'll happen again. Vikings win. Next, we have the Raiders and the Saints. Raiders looking great against a terrible Texans, so take that for what you will. Josh Jacobs has been showing up great the past 3 weeks, especially in fantasy. If you haven't started him in your lineup, start him like for the rest of the year until further notice. Then the Saints, like I said, are just hurt. Bradley Roby went on IR, so that's unfortunate. And their offense, I mean, they have pieces. Who knows if Michael Thomas will play this week? Maybe that 10-day rest will allow him to return. The Raiders, again, look great on offense. It pains me to say this. I'm probably going to go with the Raiders, but I want to pick the Saints, but I just don't know if they have it. I would expect Dalton to play again, but who knows? I'm going to go with the Raiders, but I hate doing that. Next, we have the Patriots versus Jets. Like I said, Patriots come off a big loss surprising loss against the Bears. The Jets with another big win, but the big loss of Breece Hall. Fortunately for them, they made that trade with the Jaguars and got a steal with James Robinson. Maybe it'll take a little bit for him to find a spot in the roster, but he'll definitely get some use. And I'm sure Michael Carter will still get his reps, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Patriots, again, have a quarterback controversy. I think both Zappy or Mac Jones could be a good quarterback in this league. I think both have shown that they have something, but they've also made some mistakes throughout the line. Ramondre Stevenson is a great running back. Should continue to get reps. Probably have a big game this week. I think I'll pick the Jets just to continue winning. Next we have the Steelers and the Eagles. Eagles coming off the bye. Steelers off a close loss to the Dolphins, but didn't really show too much. Kenny Pickett will hopefully continue to improve. Eagles, I think, will probably win this one pretty handily. It is a rivalry of sorts because of the state battle. But I think Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders, who's been a great running back all year, Dallas Goedert. He was sad that he didn't get to play on National Tight End Day, so hopefully for fantasy owner's sake and his sake that he's able to ball out this week. Probably have a great chance to do so. The Steelers, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the Steelers. I really think they should just rebuild, but who knows what they're doing. They're kind of retooling, but yes, we'll see. I think the Eagles win by a touchdown or two. It's probably not going to be that close, maybe early on. Next we have the Titans versus the Texans. Titans looking great last week again. Had some struggles at times, but they just dominated the Colts pretty much. Texans, I mean, they have some pieces, but Keyshawn Green, I think that's his name. He left the game last week, so that would be a big loss if he is not able to play. Our offensive line is kind of not much, even with him. Dameon Pierce is still continuing to be a great running back. Titans, Derrick Henry showing everybody wrong that he still has it all, and he's moving up the running back yard ranks. Probably have a big game this week, I would think. Titans, I think, win this pretty handily, although it could be a surprise. You never know with the Texans, what they're going to do. But yeah, I think Titans win big in this one. Next we have the Commies versus the Colts. Colts starting Sam Ehlinger, supposedly, for the rest of the season. It's probably a good thing. Matt Ryan's had too many turnovers, and Michael Pittman needs somebody consistent to throw to him because he's such a great wide receiver. And hopefully this means that he'll give Jonathan Taylor more run, because he had, when he was able to, given the ball last week, he was able to run just fine. The Commies with the surprising win over the Packers. Heineke looks like he should be the starting quarterback for the rest of the year. He just gets put in good positions, and he's not asked to do too much. Just don't make mistakes, and he didn't really make mistakes last week. I think it's going to be a close one. I think I'll go with the Colts just because I think Sam Ehlinger could be the real deal for them, but it's going to be a close game. Next we have the Rams versus the 49ers. 49ers with the ugly loss last week. Christian McCaffrey will probably continue to work himself in the lineup, but as I've said before in previous videos, I think that trade will blow up in their face because they've traded away so much draft capital. And the Rams, coming off a bye, who knows what to think about them. Their defense has so many good pieces, but they don't really function all that well. The Rams' offense is just a mess. And with the talks that they're trying to trade Cam Akers, yeah, it's just a mess. Matt Stafford just clearly looks hurt. He's clearly still suffering from the elbow surgery he had during the summertime. He'll probably never be fully right this year. He may need surgery again. It's going to be a close one. It always is with these two teams. But I think in the end, the 49ers will bounce back and win the game. But honestly, it could go either way. It's just such a good rivalry for these teams. And both of them will hope to battle out for number one in the division by the end of the year, I think. Next we have the Giants versus the Seahawks. Both teams have been very surprising. Both teams were projected in the beginning of the year to be awful, but they have been anything but. The Giants have just been a complete revelation. Again, putting Daniel Jones in places where he can succeed. Saquon Barkley has been great. Their defense has been surprisingly good. It's amazing how much Kayvon Thibodeau has changed that defense from top to bottom. How much another pass rusher can really change your defense. And the Seahawks, Geno Smith didn't have the greatest game last week, but I'll like him to continue doing well. Kenny Walker's been a revelation for them. I probably don't expect him to run like he did last week because just the Chargers' defense is so bad. But it's going to be a really close game. I think the Giants still pull this one out. I think it's going to be close. I really don't know what to think for sure. But honestly, it's a real toss-up, to be honest. Both teams are surprisingly moving towards the playoffs, but Giants in a close one. Next we have the Bills versus the Packers in a long-awaited matchup since the beginning of the season when the schedule makers had this circled on the schedule. Bills coming off a bye. Packers 3 straight losses. Bills are just a juggernaut. Their defense is great. Their offense is fantastic. The Packers offense, who knows? Lazard probably doesn't play. They need to get Aaron Jones the ball. If they don't run the ball, they will not play well in this game, and they will get crushed. Rashawn Gary probably doesn't play. He's coming out that concussion, but I don't know. I'm going to say the Bills win, but for some reason, this is not being a homer at all. This is just being objective. The Packers, when they're heavy underdogs, and this is the first time Aaron Rodgers has ever been a double-digit underdog. Whenever they're underdogs like this, they play well. They may not win the game, but it's damn closer than a lot of people think. And I think the Packers will make this a close game throughout. I think the Bills are obviously the better team, but I just have this feeling that the Packers will make a show of it. Anyways, maybe early. Maybe the Bills end up winning big, but it just feels like one of those games where it's going to be a lot closer than people think. And finally, we have the Bengals versus the Browns. I think Browns are for sure going on their bye week after this week, so for their sake, they need to pull out a win. Going into the bye week at 2-6 will not be good for them for sure. The Bengals have been getting better and better. Joe Burrow was just amazing last week, although Falcons were missing AJ Terrell, and without him on their defense looked terrible. But I think the Bengals are for real. Joe Mixon is finally putting it together, slowly but surely. The Browns, Nick Chubb is the weapon of choice. And Kareem Hunt finally got a touchdown last week, but not much else. I think the Bengals win this game. I mean, it is a rivalry game, and it's in Cleveland. And Cleveland likes to really show up in this game, but I think they're just banged up everywhere. I've seen tight end. I think just because of Joe Burrow versus Brissett, Burrow has the upside, and I think that's going to put them over the edge. But it should probably be a close game. Probably a lot closer than people think, but I think the Bengals win this one outright. And there you go. There are my picks for the week. And as follows, like I said before, Ravens, Jags, Panthers, Cowboys, Dolphins, Vikings, Raiders, Jets, Eagles, Titans, Colts, 49ers, Giants, Bills, Bengals. Those are my picks for the week. As always, I'll put out a short just recapping my picks, and then hopefully it'll get people to go to my full form video. You know where to find me, of course. Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and locals. All of them at Redhead Takes is where you go to find me. I hope you have a great day, and as always, go Pack Go, and God bless.